Hi everyone, it's Karen here. Welcome to day 5 in our 24 days of tags for 2022. And today we've got something a little fun and quirky. My goal in this series was threefold. 1, to either teach you or remind you of some techniques that you may or may not have known before. 2, to inspire you. I've seen a lot where people have said they've lost their mojo, and this is a really quick and easy way to get that going again. And the third one, just have a bit of fun. So I hope this one ticks the fun box for you today. A little Christmas tree with some bling on it, some splatters in the background, in the shape of a tree. So as always, our tag size is 6.5 centimetres by 12.5 centimetres, and then I've just snipped off the edges. What I'm going to do first up is I'm going to pick up some ink, distress oxides, elements, inks, anything you like, and just go around the edge, give it a bit of a frame. I am using a smoothie. You can use your blending brushes, sponges, whichever you like to use. So just a tiny bit of a frame. Then we're going to create some splatters in the background. Just a tiny bit of water. Pick up your fan brush. And then using your, well, I like to use a paintbrush on the back, just create some background splatters. Simple as that. I'm going to put that to one side to dry. So that's our background. So this is the sample that I created, and I'm going to go with a different colourway this time, just so that you can see what it might look like if you did it in a different way. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut the strips of paper, background paper, and then we're just going to stick the bling onto those little strips. So the strips that I've got, this is about just under 6.5 centimetres. And when I say about, what I did was I just cut the strip like that and thought, yes, that's about right. So it's not an exact science, because as you can see, what we're going to do is we're going to layer these in all sorts of quirky orientations. So the strip size that I've got is 1 centimetre wide. So I just cut 3 or 4 strips of card 1 centimetre wide. Then I started 6.5 centimetres here, and I just cut them like that, 7. This one, the top one, is just about 1.5 centimetres long. So again, not an exact science. You don't want it too symmetrical, because this is all about being a bit quirky. Okay, so that's what you want. 7 little strips, 1 centimetre wide, just going up from about 6.5 centimetres to 1.5 centimetres. So that's what I've done. And then, so here we go. I've only done this in advance so that you don't get too bored, because I want you to carry on watching and do the rest of the series. So I've just taken my bling. Now, in the sample that I showed you, I used this one, which is really quite funky. But so that I got a variation to show you, I've got this sparkly bits. You can buy them just in a strip. And then I'm just going to peel it off. The good thing about these is that they're adhesive on the back. And then I'm just going to layer it down the centre of that strip of card. Now, if you didn't have these stickers, you could use beads, you could bits of twine, cord, sequins. Okay, so then what you're going to do is you're going to layer these all the way up your 7 little strips. Okay. By this point, this should be dry. So I'm now going to take my glue and my little strips. So here they've got. And I'm just going to put a tiny strip of glue down the center of that strip. And I am literally going to, I'm not going to overthink this, okay? This is supposed to be, look, a quirky, fun little tree. So you're just going to lay the strips up and then lay them at angles in a zigzag fashion. And I think often with our craft, we tend to overthink things a bit too much, don't we? It needs to be perfect. Well, this quirky little tree does not. So there we have it. I wonder how you're all getting on with your Christmas preparations. Do you know what? This year I have not even got my Christmas decks up. Wow. That is unusual for me because I usually get mine up early and then the day after Boxing Day they're down. I've had enough. Okay. So I use Cosmic Shimmer Glue. That's this one. And I like it because it does give me a few seconds to move it around if I don't quite like the orientation. Now, it's not as bold as this one. So what I am going to do is I'm going to take my sponge and I'm just going to create a bigger frame. So you can see what that's done immediately. That's changed the look of it. So there's a thought. When you're creating a project, any project, I often use a darker colour around the edge to frame it. And then as you've just seen, a thicker frame emphasises the centre a bit more. There we go. Look, I quite like that. And then what I did was I just used a strip of 3 and put that down at the bottom for my little trunk. And then I'm going to use just one as the star at the top. Oops. Now, that one doesn't really stand out, so I'm not going to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my gold sequins and I'll just put one of these little pieces of bling, the same one as I've used on my project. I'll just pop it in the middle. Ah, that's quite cute. So this one I just did a piece of wool and I'm going to do the same on this one. So you'll see most of mine I use cord, twine or sheer ribbon. And this one I decided, so just let's use what's in your stash. Because often when you start getting it out, you think, oh, I'd forgotten I had that. So there we have, look at that, something really quick and simple for day 5. Thanks so much for watching. I'll be back again tomorrow. Bye for now.